Blessed am I to be in the fine company of Jakobs once again. And gracious is this earth, for I finally don't have to melee the start of BL3. Well, that covers how to get an allegiance off the ground. Now, we'll discuss any hardships I had during the new game playthrough. There were none, but I was able to use the rogue site, which was pleasant. I sure hope you weren't expecting a challenge from this or any BL3 allegiance. I didn't even farm for anything except XP. Even with various restrictions, I genuinely don't know how to make a BL3 allegiance interesting in a new game run. It was fun, but what am I supposed to do? Talk about how everything died really easily and I got plenty of guns to use no problem? No. What was interesting, and my favorite part of these allegiances, is the endgame gearing phase. There are many ways to skip that which you can use, but I don't because I think it's more interesting. I also skipped straight to 72. Once I skipped to max level, the part that was fun for me is hunting down an easy loot source to get the ball rolling. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a dedicated source susceptible to vehicular manslaughter, so I had to resort to something else. That something else being redeeming the Bird of Prey vault card item, which just so happens to be a really good gun too. I then used that gun to farm Indo-Tyrant for an Unforgiven, which I was able to grab everything else with. Humble beginnings, but that's all I needed. I should have mentioned my build. It's nerfed on purpose for a little challenge, details below. Another little side note, I needed to install a mod to get all the weapons in one inventory. 61 uniques is far too many. Now let's get into the part of the game that I'm not qualified to talk about properly. How good are the guns? They're very good. So good I decided to do a round of true Malawan takedown, which I normally wouldn't do. My build is nerfed in such a way that normal Malawan takedown often feels like true. Like I said, I'm not knowledgeable enough to speak on the efficacy of these guns. I recommend Arachnica for that. I would recommend his channel over mine for anything BL3 related in general, as he's funnier and knows more than I do. I'm not here for how good they perform anyway, I'm here for how good they feel, and to note downsides. So let's note those downsides, shall we? Well, my think you heard. Now that that's out of the way, what's my opinion on the brand as a whole? Well, think about what made Jakobs special before. Being non-elemental, which is still true for the most part. Having a higher crit damage, sure, but so does Hyperion. Being semi-auto, sure, but you have full auto options now. High damage? Maybe for non-uniques, but other than that, Hyperion has the highest damage sniper rifle, TDR has the shotgun, Dahl's got the AR covered arguably. Pistol? Fucking Vladov has a higher single shot damage pistol than most Jakobs, and it's got a much higher effective DPS. So what does Jakobs have? They look cool and sound cool. In previous games they felt great despite them being semi-auto. They also have consistency. I mentioned other manufacturers with higher highs, but their lows are much lower than Jakobs. Jakobs also has mostly better ammo efficiency due to the whole semi-auto thing and most ARs not having a super high fire rate. Not only that, but almost all the unique effects on Jakobs guns lean into their gimmick heavily as their crit effects, mostly. So about what I said earlier, what makes Jakobs special in BL3? Nothing. They make you feel special. While no longer the best provider of anything functionally, their quality of experience far surpasses the competition. The sound design is exquisite, all their guns look like works of art, reward satisfactory gameplay, and game marriage is based. Normal Malawan takedown took 24 minutes, and True took about 45 minutes. These aren't good times, but my build is nerfed. Wotan alone took 13 minutes because I'm not set up for bossing, and its crit spot doesn't reel, but whatever. Long story short, I prefer the Gatling gun. I'm not sure if I'll be uploading BL3 allegiances in the future, as Arachnica has more informative videos on a lot of the same shit. Either way, check out his videos I've linked below for more in-depth reviews of uniques and non-uniques alike. Speaking of alike, you'd better like, comment, and subscribe. Ha 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 ha. Okay.